good, listeners? Returning live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show, is singer-songwriter Steve Blake from Animal Sun. Also, check out our second installment of our brand new podcast series, Off the Fret, featuring UK pop-punk band Royals. More music talk, out now wherever you listen to podcasts. And we got the one and only Steve Blake with us. How's it going, my man?
What's up, my dude?
What's up?
Hey, Steve. Hi. I like the hair.
Yeah, look at the hair. The hair doesn't go away. Look at
always.
Fuck.
See, how do you're in LA right now, right?
Yeah.
How in the world are you rocking this nice white coat? Like, aren't you afraid you're gonna damper that thing down just a little bit? It's starting to rain. It's getting cold now.
I'm like a little bit like out of LA right now because I'm like on the way like towards Santa Clarita. So it's a leather jacket.
Oh, so you wanted to style and profile and just let everybody know what's good. Okay, I see you, Steven. It's all good, but it's so good to see you again, brother. And I know Marissa and I were excited that when you reached out to us last week to give us an early listen of your brand new single from Animal Sun. It's called Safe Not Sound. And my first reaction, Steve, was you look a lot like Marlon Brando. Especially in this latest music video, because is Animal Sun bringing back the eyeliner in 2022?
Of course, man. The music video actually drops in 1 hour. It premieres on our YouTube channel. We got some cool write-ups coming next week, like rock sound and whatnot. But
nice.
I think for this,
you still avoided my question though. Are you bringing back the eyeliner in 2022? That's the real question.
Are you coming to the almost sold out show tomorrow?
You know what? I was hoping. I'm still trying to make that happen, but you still are not answering my question. I'm sorry. I will wear heavy eyeliner if I can make it to the show tomorrow. It's not a guarantee, but is that something that Animal Sun's rocking in 2022?
If you come to the show tomorrow, your answers will be.
I love it.
Okay, fair enough. But, Safe Not Sound doesn't sound like anything from your guys' last album, Echoes of a Dream, giving me Muse vibes with your super massive guitar riffs. I mean, it really kicks in right at the start of the track. So what can the listening audience anticipate with this new record?
We're kind of decided to take some of the darker, heavier elements of the last album, like, on parts of Can You Hear the Thunder, and just explore that. Some of the album does have that very retro 80s pop that you guys are used to hearing at this point from us. But like, we wanted to push the boundary, especially with the live show. Like, since we, did that first tour for that record this past fall, one of the reactions we got was this record. I mean, we love the album, but listening to it live is like a whole different experience. Like, when we play live, they're pop tunes, but we play them like they're rock tunes. So people like get into it more. People that really aren't fans of this style of music tend to like it because of how we perform it live. So we took that into account when making this last album. And it's we're about 9 songs in. We're supposed to finish the 10th today, and that will finish the album.
That is so cool that we get to talk to you while you're in this creative process now. And I know that I was diving deep into the lyrical content of this latest single, Safe Not Sound, and you sing the following. So you don't have to notice me for now because I'll keep coming around. You're safe, but not sound. There's nothing in this town if no one's ever found. So here's to hoping soon you'll have to leave alone. Damn, like you said right at the top, it's incredibly dark. I mean, myself personally, it kind of sounded like you guys were talking about some of your experience behind the scenes with the music industry, or it could be something totally off base. So what's the story behind Safe Not Sound?
Well, I mean, you're not totally wrong. Safe Not Sound. So this record, which I'll just tell you the name of it now, is called Generation Waiting.
Let's go.
And it's about a group of people, or generation, if you will, but it's not really singled out to like, oh, it's just about Gen Z or whatever, right? It's kind of a group of people that are always waiting for the next thing, always waiting for the I made it moment, for the aha moment, waiting, they're never present. They're always looking towards that next thing. And it's keeping us in a perpetual state of wanting more and unhappiness, right? So Generation Waiting is this group of people because of how we were, brought up with the digital age and all of these things that it affected our ability to be present, be in the moment. And now we're just waiting for that next thing. We're like, oh, I made it here. Well, now I want this thing. I'm waiting for that, right? So these group of people, we're exploring all of these themes. Okay, who is generation waiting? Most of them is, Gen Z, Millennial, but like there are people from every generation where they're never satisfied, right?
Right, like when you're finally in that position.
X-Gen. No, that was like the X-Gen started that. Like never satisfied with what it is, and then we stole it, and now Z-Gen stealing it.
Well, also exactly. With like what Steven's bringing up, it's like it's really getting enhanced now, especially with this digital technology. And I say, let's just let the music speak for itself. It's an amazing track. We're honored to be able to showcase this an hour before it starts to premiere for the rest of the Animal Sun fans. But you're in for a treat, CCS family, because we have it right now. We're playing the brand new music video, Safe Not Sound, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. That is Animal Sun's brand new single and music video. You're going to be able to check it out like literally right after the show if you want to keep constantly putting it on repeat. I know it helps the boys out. It definitely rises them up on that Billboard charts. But that track was called Safe Not Sound. And I want to remind the listening audience that you're listening to the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. And this is Strike a Chord, where if you physically or digitally pick up that record, you're going to know these tracks. And one of the coolest things, Steven, you've already been enlightening us on so much more than I anticipated in this interview today. You just gave us the announcement of the brand new album title for the new record, Generation Waiting. You've also just let us know that you are about to go into the 10th recording of the track today, which I find is just incredible. But my thing is, what have you noticed differently now about your artistic process compared to your time in the studio creating Echoes of a Dream LP?
To answer your question and also finish answering the question about Safe Not Sound, because I want to do both there because I didn't really give you the actual what it's about. We know what we want out of this record. The last record was like, okay, we found our sound with Girl in Blue. Let's make an album around it. Let's tell a story. This album was like, let's make something that feels timeless. Let's make something that speaks for an entire generation of people, right? Instead of just like, let's make cool pop tunes, you know, with like an interesting story to make it feel more prolific, right? Safe Not Sound explores the darker, weird obsessions with like, you know, serial killers or dark, weird, malicious, you know, a lot of people watch shows like Dexter or Mindhunter. I do.
You're like, your album is exactly what I'm like, yes, and more, yes.
Or it's like a crime podcast if it had a visual representation.
I don't know why we're so obsessed with all this dark stuff, but like we are, so that's why I explored it. It might or might not end up on this record. It depends on how some music business things go down with who we've been talking to about releasing it. It'll either be 11 tracks with this song or it'll be 10 without it on the album. But
go with it.
Either way, either way, we'll a bridge into the new era, and we just know what we want now, man. I mean, we know what we sound like.
No, it's funny that you're saying that though, Steven, because you guys have said that because I love your EP, but then you said last time, oh my gosh, that EP wasn't us, and I went, really? I think that's some of your best work. And then Echoes of a Dream came out. I really loved it. I love that you guys changed your sound. You guys weren't married to anything, and that's what gets me excited when I hear this new single, because you guys are constantly evolving. I think it's bad when bands consistently stick with that same sound, you know, LP after LP after LP. So like, what do you consider to be the most challenging aspect, you know, of composing music right now?
Completing like complete thoughts. So the reason why Echoes is more than something that we want to represent is because it feels so complete. It looks so complete. It's a complete thought. Generation Waiting is no different. It's exactly the same thing, but we're pushing the boundary and reinventing the wheel a little bit. So it's not as just like, oh, here's the copy paste job, as you say, of the last LP. It's like, let's take some of the darker rock elements, push the boundary, but you know, it needs to feel like a complete thing. Like when you're physically holding the record, when you're holding that vinyl and you're holding it and you're listening to all those tracks, you're like, it feels like you're going into a different universe. And that's
like how albums used to be in the 1970s and stuff, like where you had the whole entire album and there was a journey.
And the art catalog, everything that encompasses
the lyrics,
with the music. No, I think that's so cool. And Steven, like how does it work? I mean, especially when, you know, you got some of the CCS family out here, not everybody plays music today. So can you explain how you might compose a new piece of work?
Yeah. For me, a lot of it's based on feeling. I will listen to a lot of bands to get inspiration. But for me, a lot of it is there's certain rhythms that you can hear that the human being is capable of hearing. And once you start exploring how you can push that boundary of like, you know, I don't care if you have any musical talent at all. You can pick up a guitar and you play a couple notes, okay? After doing that for a few weeks, those couple notes turn into a melody and then a chord progression and then so on and so forth. So it's really about pushing that initial feeling you get from just experimenting. So if you want to write a song, you know, one of the things I learned was like, okay, go to the Billboard charts, pick your 3 favorite pop tunes or whatever genre it is, and then change the words to your own. And then
I like that.
And
I like that.
like a
That's
good
so
writing
cool.
practice. That's I've never heard that before. I actually haven't heard of a method until like 3 years doing the Chris Collins show, and that's probably one of the more intriguing ones that I've heard today. But as you were saying this, and you even referenced even with Marissa, like, please put it on the record, put Safe Not Sound. But what happens if your composition is poorly received and bandmates and producers don't want to work with it? I mean, what do you do?
Well, that's kind of what those singles, Without You and Still Believe and Beginnings, like a lot of that was just us we put out Girl in Blue, and then we being told by A&Rs, you need to sound like this, you need to look like this. So we started throwing out all these things that weren't the band. And it wasn't until like we gained, complete control back of our project that Echoes came out, and now we're at 4 million plays and just went on tour and signed our first deal and blah, blah, blah. Right. So you got to understand that 99% of the time, you're right. That hunch, that little pit you have in your stomach of, I should probably do it this way. Listen to that voice. Don't let anybody come in there and tell you you need to sound or look like this, because, they ultimately, they're usually not artists. And if they are, they could be telling you to change the one thing about yourself that would have made you unique and would have made you make it. Right. So if you listen to those people, you're just going to sound like everyone else.
And I think that's a beautiful message, and I think that's a great plug going into the next track that we're going to be playing from you. And this is Animal Sun's music video, Every Word, which you don't want to take every word literally. How funny did that work out? So we're going to be playing Every Word. This track is off their LP, Echoes of a Dream. You're hearing it now, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show.
I've been drowning my heart just to feel that I'm sane. Taking it every time I play this game. I tell myself that I'm fine, but your whispers louder than the Arctic breeze, and I keep my thoughts buried inside of me. I bite my tongue when I think of you and me. When I think of you and me, I hate every word you say, but I'll break from every move you make. I'll fake it when I can't relate to you. No wonder why I'm feeling down, 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 down. No wonder why I'm feeling down, 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 down. I'm thinking that I should go, but I got no place to be. When I get too close, you know I'd do anything. Who do you think you are to keep me acting this way? You shouldn't be this surprised when your whispers louder than the Arctic breeze, and I keep my thoughts buried inside of me. I bite my tongue when I think of you and me. Maybe I should change. I hate every word you say, but I'll break from every move you make. I'll fake it when I can't relate to you. No wonder why I'm feeling down, 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 down. No wonder why I'm feeling down, 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 down. Every word you say, but I'll break from every move you make. I'll fake it when I can't relate to you. No wonder why I'm feeling down, 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 down. I hate every word you say, but I'll break
Yeah, that's what's good. That is Animal Sun, and that's their music video, Every Word. But we're out of time, but I did want to give you guys, go see Animal Sun. They're going to be playing live tomorrow night. What's the venue that you guys are performing at?
Molly Malone's. It's in Fairfax. Doors are at 7. And it is almost sold out. There's barely.
You
like
gotta act now.
They will not be available at the door. That's why, Chris, you gotta come.
That's why I gotta make it happen. Come on, let's get it.
Oh, Chris, you never go out. Go.
We'll see what's good. We'll see what's good. But Steve Blake.
9 o'clock tonight, they will be sold out. So if you're coming, buy them before 9 tonight. All right, Chris.
That's what's up. And go follow Animal Sun on social media. You're amazing, Steve. And we'll talk to you in the new year.
I love you guys. All right.
Peace. Love you too, man.